All right, good morning, guys. I hope you had an amazing weekend. Italy won, and so looking at pre-market today, no major news over the weekend. There's nothing that I saw which it's just a continuation from Friday. Looks like futures are totally flat, no change in anything. Just anything under 0.5% is usually flat, so there's no movement. So S&P, same thing, same thesis from last week, right? A nice little uptrend, and I think as long as we do continue going up this week, higher towards 440, 445 maybe. That's just my opinion based on the technicals. And downside levels right now, the number that I'm looking at is 430 now. So see how you guys, if you have been attending for the last 1 month, we came all the way from 416, then 418, then 420, 424, and now 430. So as the stock market goes up, our downside levels also keep going up. Okay, so 430. So any dip towards 430 is completely normal. There's nothing wrong with it, right? That's part of the market. It's just not going to continue going up. We will have some small dips along the way. Now, crash. Some of you guys say that the market is going to crash or this is what's going to happen. The first thing you need to know what is a crash first of all. When you guys say the word crash, right? I mean, if you're trading, you need to use the right words. A crash basically means minimum 10%. So 10% or plus is correction. Okay. Anything above 10% move down is correction. Okay, so crash is not even anywhere near it. So 10% from these levels, SPY has to go down 43 points. Then it's a correction, which is all the way down to, so 435 minus 43, whatever that gives us, 390, I believe, right, 392-ish. So SPY has to hit 392 or below in order for it to be called a correction, okay, which is 10%. So, and yes, they do come once in a while, but they don't come every 2 or 3 or 6 months, okay? So, 393 is all the way right here. So SPY basically has to dip all the way towards March levels in order for it to be called a correction right here, right at this level right here. Is that likely going to happen? I don't think so. After everything we've had, if we just zoom out, right? If we just zoom out from last year in March, the big dip, and then all these big dips we had along the way. Right now, SPY is holding well, and I think we continue higher in the coming weeks. I'm not saying, is this the start of a bull run into the coming years? Maybe, I have no idea. But for now, just playing along the levels, 430 is my first test, and then even 424, 426 is also possible, okay? But until now, the chart, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it looks great, all right? And then we can obviously zoom out to the monthly just to get an idea of it. On the monthly, it might look very extended. It might look low, man. It came from 215. Yes, it does. Okay, so 400 is also possible in the coming months when it goes sideways or consolidates. Or we can just continue going up slowly. But sometimes when it goes in an uptrend, it just continues. It does not slow down. All right. But for now, just playing with the levels because we're trading, we're not investing, right? So trading, your numbers matter, your positions matter, how much you put in, how much you invest, how much you buy, sell. Right, investing is completely different than trading. You know that. Qs holding well. I think as long as it just holds above 355, 356, I think we're okay for the coming weeks. Downside level on this, I still have as 345, 346-ish. Okay, but for now, holding pretty well. So tech is doing fine. We're up pre-market this week again. Maybe next week or the following week, we might have some consolidation towards the downside. And financials, XLF. So this week we have the earnings seasons kicks off. If you didn't know that, you should, right? I mean, as a trader, banks have earnings first, and Goldman Sachs is reporting tomorrow, I believe. So and then other banks will follow. But XLF, the only number that matters to me is the 37 plus hold, and if this can hold, then maybe I will look at banks or what I want to play. Right now it's in a chop zone, it's stuck in this range. I don't want to get caught here. I do not wish to get caught between 37 and 35 because here you will be gambling. We will be predicting moves, what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay. The reason for these levels, the numbers is so that we have a confirmed trade. Okay. It's likely to work in the direction that you're looking for. Goldman Sachs TRD went over this chart. I think if we can get 380 plus, we do have a move towards 390. So that's a $10 trade that we can catch from 380 to 390. Right. If you're trying to catch a trade between 380 and 360. You're trying to play the chop. You're trying to guess which way it's going to go the next day. That's called gambling now, okay? Where the market maker usually take away your money because you likely lose both ways on the premium decay. So 380 plus hold, we get to 390, that's $10 move, and then 390 plus hold, all-time highs on the banks. And if you zoom out, they look great. Okay, so nice little uptrend. And then if we go on the monthly, let me just remove all my drawings. We just broke out a few months ago. Okay, so this can have a long way to go. So on the monthly, in 2000, before the major crash, was 251. Okay, so after 20 years, the stock is only up another 100 points. So this can literally run towards 500 so fast, you guys have no idea based on the technicals. It can go to 500 so fast, even this year. Yes, it can happen, trust me. Right? If you look at Microsoft, which consolidated for many years from, so this is, just pretend like this is GS, okay? From December 2000 and then until August 60, for 16 years, Microsoft did not move. Forget moving, it didn't even get the highs for 16, 17 years. But when it broke out above 54, it's now trading at how much? 278. Okay, 6x in the last 4 to 5 years. 100% every year basically on equity, on Microsoft. Okay, so GS can make a similar move towards 500, 700, even 1,000 in the coming 2-3 years. Okay, but let's see. And the bonds are lower, I believe, over the weekend. That's the reason I think banks are down. McDonald's, this is a weekly chart I'm looking at. T1 over this, yes, last night in the charting session. One of the best companies in the world to invest in, because McDonald's is, I don't think is likely to fail anytime soon, at least in maybe for the next 20, 30 years minimum. And looking on the weekly chart, I think it's in a great uptrend. It's one of the retirement stocks that you put in your portfolio, which also pays dividends. But this on the weekly chart, I would love to play McDonald's, but I would buy time. Okay, I would buy time maybe of 2 to 3 months. And if this breaks out, this can get 250 fast, because this is a magnet level, it's psychological. Understand these numbers. So from 235, 236 break, there's a 15-point move in the cards in McDonald's. Okay. So you can look to catch this for the coming weeks, buy time. Walmart, the only one number that matters to me is 142, holds 140 plus, is holding well in this range, right? Above 142, the push through 142, we get a play towards, we can get a $6 move towards 148, okay? 148, so we're trying to get this confirmed number to trade it for the $6 move on our options, maybe bank 50%, 100%, 200%, it depends. Or maybe go far out on leaps, okay? T, another chart somebody was asking, I believe in the chat, and the T also went over this. A chart that can just go sideways for many, many months. In a chart like this, I would not put a lot of money. If I have $10,000 cash, the maximum I'll put in this is $150 or $200 cash. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, either my position goes to zero, or maybe I just take a 20-30% loss if it doesn't move in my direction. Okay, because it moves really slow, and then time decay kills your options. So this is something that I would not buy far out of the money. It's something that I would play in the money and buy myself at least 2-3 months, so that my options can hold value. Okay. Amazon, the only number that matters for now to me is 37.25 plus hold, and the next number after that is 37.60 plus. Okay, above this we have 3,800 and likely 3,900 as well. Why 37.60 is simple. $37.59.99 was the previous high, and if it takes out all-time highs, there will be some panic buying. And another thing, somebody asked, does space flight has anything to do with Amazon? Now, the only thing that I know, or through my market research that I've heard, right, and I was pretty smart, was that when Bezos goes up into space, I mean, you know, in his little rocket, what matters is his safety return matters more than the landing. Anything, he just has to return safely to Earth, and that's it. That's all that matters, okay? Because Amazon is his vision, and something happens to him or anything like that, then obviously Amazon will take a hit, right? Because some people invest in Bezos, they don't invest in Amazon, so there's a difference, okay? So if something was to happen to him, anything, the stock will take a big dip, okay? But that now that Richard Branson has landed safely, it will make people more, positive, optimistic about the flights and whatnot. So that's the reason I think for the gap up. And let's see. But for now, Amazon looks great. It's in a great uptrend. 37.25 plus, and then 37.60 as a hold. Okay. Baba, Chinese stocks are still weak, right? We need some legit news. And for now, nothing. It's just gonna, I think, 200, 205, 210. On these moves, there's no excitement. I have my leaps. I'm holding them weekly or anything close dated. I will not play for now, other than the August spreads I have, right? But for now, there's nothing to play here. So let's wait until the news. Avoid if you can, right? If you're trying to buy leaps, yes, in 2023, not even 2022, but June 2022 or later, okay? Space, so there's no big move in the pre-market. I think everything was priced in, right? This stock in December, Jan went to high 60s and then came back towards almost 14 bucks, okay? Gave up over 300% on equity and then went back to 60 again in a few months. And now is holding the levels above 50, right? And here, what I can see for the next 2-3 months, on the weekly, I see a cup and handle forming, right? If this pattern works, it might not, it might even avoid this pattern. But for now, the only levels that matter on this is 45 and 60 will be the zone that is going to stay in likely. If it falls below 45, they're going to try to bring it back above 45. If it goes above 60, they're going to try to bring it below 60. So I see a range forming here between 45 and 60. They're going to kill the premium on options, all those people that bought. And then later, with the earnings, some numbers, revenue, sales, tickets that are going to come in, that's what's going to move the stock now. Okay? And if we get a 63, the first number, if we're looking for a squeeze right now, right, if that's the scenario you're looking for, then 58 is the first number that matters, and then 63 is the second. Through 63, you can probably see 75, 80 so fast. Okay? So 58 is first, then 63, and then above 63, we have 75, 80. MSTR, Bitcoin play, which we added on Friday. We added a little bit of time, I believe, and if Bitcoin, we do have a pop if we get some news out of it. MSTR is one stock that I really like. I think it can make a huge move, right? Their Bitcoin holding is just humongous, it's huge. And it needs a 650, 670 hold, and we can probably see 750 on this. So 670 is the number on this. But Bitcoin needs to reverse. We need some positive news out of the cryptocurrency world for this. But right now, over the weekend, I don't think Bitcoin did much. It was just at 33 something when I last checked. So just going sideways. OTRK, somebody mentioned regarding short squeeze. It's good that you guys are finding these stocks, right? This can definitely have a squeeze. But one thing that you must understand, if you go on the monthly chart, these stocks are very volatile. Sometimes the squeezes happen, then they're dead for many, many years to come. If you're trying to look for a squeeze, you're trying to play this name. What comes in here is your research may be on top, right? Now, the only question here is how much money do you put in here? How much money do you risk to look for that squeeze? Now, when a squeeze happens, we look for 500,000% at least. So on a $10,000 cash account, if you really think a squeeze is going to come in here, I will probably buy options worth 100 to 150 bucks. That's it, which is 1% of my portfolio. If the squeeze does happen, if you're on point, that should give you 1,000% or 500%. That $100 is enough to give you profit of $700, even $1,000, which is a 10% increase on your account. And if it doesn't work out, that's fine. You're back to $9,900 in your account. You do this play 2-3 times with your research, one will likely work out, leaving you with net profits. So consistency matters here. But if you have a $10,000 account and you put in $2,000 here, the stock doesn't move, nothing happens, now you've given it back, given it a ball, right? So here what comes is managing numbers. If your research is on point, they have some catalysts coming up. This is a healthcare company, so look into any approvals that might be coming up, and then you can play the name. Not just based on numbers, look at there's a website, maybe I'll post it during the day. They will have all the dates where these guys have their trials and whatnot. Okay? And Apple looks great, right? 145 is really hard, but let's see if I can hold about 145. We can probably see 150 or run into earnings. And if these stocks run a lot into earnings, then don't expect a move on earnings. Okay. FireEye, it's a beautiful monthly chart. We're long in it, right? And it's holding levels. As soon as it breaks about 22, 23, I think we have $28 coming fast. And we are long in FireEye, as all you guys know. Tesla, I'll just quickly go over. So Tesla. Yeah, any close over 700 on Tesla is just absolutely gonna rocket it. I think towards 750 you can catch the move. But yep, 700. A lot of sellers at 700 on Tesla. It needs above 700. But here, playing the move here, I have no idea which way it would go. You would be gambling with your money here. Here there's you can try playing towards one side, but there's nothing but a gamble, right? You can either look at this on the chart, or you can either look here and then a failure towards downside. So playing here is nothing but a gambler's bet. So it's up to you what you want to do. For me, it would be above 700, a confirmed trade above 700 towards 720, 725, and you catch that move. Okay. And guys, manage your numbers, manage risk. We had a absolutely killer last 7-8 weeks. You guys have been making a lot of money. Check out the testimonials, share your wins. One thing that my stock life teaches you is managing your risk and working with your numbers. More than alerts is more about understanding your numbers and the money that you invest. Okay, alerts anybody can give alerts. Okay, but it's more than that. It's about managing your numbers and how to grow your account. That's the hard part. And with this, guys, we'll see you guys back in the chat. Hope you guys have an amazing week. Go slow. Look for the first 10-15 minutes what the market gives and what it does. God bless you guys in the chat.